It's a privilege to address this distinguished gathering and an honor to be with so many industry leaders, international experts, and community representatives who are present here. Your commitment to the progress and development inspires all of us. I take this opportunity to congratulate the UAE, the nation which was once reliant on the food imports, which now stands as a beacon of agriculture innovation and ecosystem. Over past few years, through the leadership vision and public-private collaboration, the UAE has evolved as an enabler of food security for its people. And this is evident from this forum also. I met farmers to the national champion companies in the agri-tech sector in today's conference. Guided by determined policy and advanced investments, UAE has established a thriving ecosystem that fosters the local production and empowers homegrown enterprises. But, distinguished guests, the progress achieved by the UAE is not the result of the impressive capital flows in this sector, but also aligning technological ambitions with the global expertise. The UAE investment covers artificial intelligence, smart farming, water resource management, and digital platforms that have very strong synergies with India's vast technology talent pool. We can contribute to build our historic bilateral partnership to unlock these new heights in agriculture productivity and sustainability. Today's event is more meaningful as this event coincides with the Year of Community in the UAE, a year dedicated to unity, shared responsibility, and bold actions as declared by UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. In recognizing the environmental legacy of the founding father of UAE, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, we remember a leader whose respect for land, sustainable agriculture, and environmental harmony continues to shape the nation's way forward. Now, distinguished guests, I will focus on the theme of my address, Viksit Bharat 2047. Viksit Bharat 2047, if I translate in English, it's a developed India 2047 and UAE National Food Security Strategy 2051. And how both can have or drive the global prosperity and especially the driver of prosperity in the global south. Friends, the cooperation between India and UAE is a true model of global south collaboration. In fact, the India-UAE Food Security Partnership has been a key pillar of CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, established during a bilateral virtual summit between the leaders of India and UAE in 2022. Our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, is very particular about this particular partnership, and this foundational initiative was later incorporated into a significant advance by the broader global alignments. The partnership aims to create a resilient and diversified food supply chain by leveraging the strengths of each country to connect Indian agriculture producers with markets in the UAE and beyond. Let me take you through the components of this partnership. The first important component of the CEPA partnership is the commitment of UAE in developing food parks in India. The UAE has committed $2 billion investment to develop a series of integrated food parks across India. This is a significant step towards a larger long-term goal of facilitating a $7 billion investment from UAE companies. The focus is on food processing, capabilities enhancement, and establishing a robust supply chain infrastructure. The second part is the development of the infrastructure. This includes state-of-art food processing units, climate-controlled cold storage, and efficient logistic hubs. This farm-to-port infrastructure is designed to streamline the movement of agriculture products, minimize waste, and ensure a reliable supply chain from Indian farms to the UAE consumers and beyond. And the third component is the technology integration, which includes implementing the climate-smart farming practices, water and resource management, and deploying digital platforms to optimize supply chain visibility. But this partnership also had three important strategic sub-themes. And when I'm saying partnership, I'm conveying about SIPA. First, building a deep market integration. And we believe that SIPA is not only about the tariff lines, it is the framework on which real trade density must grow. In first half year of 2025, the non-oil trade between India and UAE reached 37.6 billion with an year-on-year growth of 34%. And SIPA covers 80% of tariff lines with zero duty excess on 90% of India's export, but the headline numbers are only the foundations. What matters now is the regulatory alignment, mutual recognition of food standards, and digital trade corridors. This is underpinned by several KPIs such as tracking the clearance times and sectoral trade volumes, and moving towards the aspirational 100 billion trade targets between the two nations. In short, friends, the key aspect is that tariff cuts are just the starting point. Reducing the friction is the real multiplier. And I suggest that forums like this should have some empowered committees where the address of the experts can address the frictions on the real-time basis so that the broader targets should be achieved on the real-time basis. The second sub-theme is enabling the strategic supply chain sovereignty. And when I say supply chain sovereignty, I mean to say resilient, diversified supply chains which are not protectionist, rather than they should be strategic in nature. And the third sub-theme, which both the nations can act as a torch bearers, is the South-South governance and financial architecture. India contributes scale, the UAE provides capital and hubs. Together, we can export South-South corridors that de-risk the most vulnerable supply chains and shape new standards for the global South. Distinguished guests, what then are converging priorities and the opportunities for this collaboration? The first converging priority can be the strategic food reserve and buffer stocks. This opens the opportunity for strong collaboration, with India able to supply buffer stock to the UAE, ensuring mutual food security during the disruption times. The second area is climate smart and sustainable agriculture practices, a theme which we heard in COP28 hosted here in Dubai. We can drive joint research and development initiatives to promote climate-friendly practices suitable for both and diverse climates. The third common priority is in the area of food processing and value addition. The opportunity for collaboration is setting up joint food processing units, reducing waste and enhancing the export potential. The fourth converging opportunity can be collaboration between UAE's expertise and investment can assist developing state-of-art infrastructure in India, ensuring efficient food delivery distribution. The fifth, the two nations can unlock new opportunity in technology transfers and capacity building. UAE leads in agri-tech innovations and research, evident in the success stories which are showcased just few minutes before my address, And India has a vast network of agricultural institutions and a large farming community. Collaboration is between the exchange program, training sessions, and technology transfer can empower Indian farmers with advanced tools and knowledge. Distinguished guests, there are common challenges to address too. Most gaps are not ambitions since India and the UAE have strong legal frameworks and share vision, but the major challenges are in the form of operationalization, joint governance, and scale-up mechanism. Without tackling these systemic frictions, SIPA activation alone can't give the desired outcomes. The first challenge, which I feel, is the SIPA utilization gap. SIPA eliminates 80% of products and offers zero duty access on 90% of India's export. Yet, non-oil trade is still only $37.6 billion, below the target of $100 billion. Many exporters lack awareness or capacity to fully leverage SIPA provisions. Agreements exist on paper, but operational density is weak. Single window clearance and digital trade corridors are slow, or they are in the pilot stage only. The second challenge is the limited supply chain integration. India is a major producer of pulse, rice, dairy, and pharma ingredients, yet UAE strategic buffers or joint processing hubs are minimal. Insufficient joint investment, absence of clearly shared governance structure, and lack of common integrated logistic planning is missing. Trade flow remains transactional, not embedded in resilient long-term supply chain, and opportunities are there for co-location, co-investment, and operational collaborations. The third challenge is the misalignment in regulatory and standards, and this is a major issue. Difference in the food safety and industrial compliances slow down the approvals and exports. Both the countries are expected to have mutual recognition frameworks, labs, certifications, and inspection protocols, which should be fully harmonized. The fourth challenge is on the under-leveraged capital and investment partnership. UAE institutional capital has immense potential, but direct investment into India's agriculture and agri-food processing, logistics, and tech sectors are not fully scaled. Coordination between FDI pipelines and project identification and SIPA-linked sector is on case-to-case basis and ad hoc. And last challenge is the lack of strategic South-South framework. Bilateral projects rarely translate into replicable templates for the Global South. Our Prime Minister is very concerned about the Global South. Initiatives trend to bilateral pilots, not formalized as governance or finance models for other countries. We should demonstrate India-UAE leadership in South-South cooperation that is beyond domestic trade benefits. Finally, there are weaknesses in data and monitoring. In the last panel discussion, the experts were talking about the role of AI, the role of other digital techniques which are emerging, the role of quantum technology in the agro-food industry. So there are weaknesses in data and monitoring, limited visibility on actual utilization of SIPA lines, no centralized dashboard is there, inconsistent reporting, and policymakers and investors can't track on real-time basis their progress on the projects. The adjustments are reactive rather than strategic in nature. These are challenges that can be addressed efficiently through the formation of a committee that looks specifically on these areas. By focusing on the strategic opportunities, tapping into the historic partnership and leveraging the power of UAE's tech and capital flows with India's talent and agriculture ecosystem, we can build a strong food sector partnership that will drive the prosperity for both the countries. May this forums serve as a catalyst for advancing our partnerships, de-risking vulnerable supply chains, and creating a model for collaborating success for the wider global south. And that is how we can achieve the goals of both the nations, developed Bharat or developed India for 2047 and UAE National Food Sector Strategy 2051, and both can drive us as a prosperity in the global south. Thank you for this patience hearing, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again.